Hi, Joe Cerrone.
And Al Rosen.
Welcome to our first Zoom meeting for CAD 116, Introduction to Autocad. We'll be using D2L, and as I go through and I start to navigate through the system, Al and I will go through and explain this. We will run Zoom meetings every morning. Al, this meeting today at 10:30, is it the regular time that we're having it?
No, normal time is 9 o'clock. We had a conflict with another video conference meeting from overseas, so we had to change this one time.
So we'll be updating the Zoom time. Our normal time will be 9 a.m. on Thursday mornings. Okay, prior to the class beginning, you need to activate your subscription. Al, do you want to walk us through this?
Certainly. On our textbook, we decided to do a different way. It's a digital one. It allows us to get into, or allows our students to get into quizzes, examples, exercises, the book, everything for you right there in front of you instead of having multiple things in front of you in bookwork and whatever else. And the way to do that is basically where it says to obtain an activation subscription, hover over a subscription, please. Go. And if it highlights like that, you left click on it. And it should automatically go there. And there it is. It's going to ask you for a key code and everything else. Now, before this, what you can do is go back up to where it says content, please, real quick. And that's our meat and potato area. Okay. And it says down bottom, it says activation or activate your subscription. Click on that. And you get the key code ready to go for it.
So the key code is provided from the bookstore.
Right. You pay them either over the phone or go in there, either way you want to do it. They give you a key code, you put it in there, you agree to it, you click on activate the key code, and it gets you in there, sends you a link, and you're all set.
So if we were to get the bookstore number for anybody, you would get it from the directory of the Oakton webpage, and then you could go to bookstore.
It's either Skokie or Des Plaines, doesn't make a difference. They both have it and both understand where it's located and what we need to do.
So you can call the bookstore at this number. Continuing.
Okay, go back and do, please. After you get that done, go down, please. Okay, thank you. You go over there, AutoCAD. If you hover over where it says AutoCAD needs and such, install. If you left click on that, please. That gives you this thing right there. You have to sign up for it. Joe and I already have it signed up, so Joe's going to click on sign in. Hopefully it works. And I'll ask you for some over here, and also ask you a verification more likely. Let's find out. Yours didn't ask you for verification. Sometimes, there it is. You're confirmed. Okay, so he's been on here a couple times already, so it is now okay to look at it. Now it says come down, get software. Please click on it. And now this will go into area of different softwares. And you go down. These all softwares there, you can also select if you want to later on and bring them down and use them. We're using AutoCAD itself. And if you click on get product, now getting product, there's 22, 2021, 2022, 2020. Joe and I prefer the 2020 because it's less buggy and it works good. If you downloaded the other ones already, that's fine. If you downloaded 2020, that's great. This just gives us more of a bells and whistles for it. And then when you click on download, please do so, please, Joe. That will come up and gives you information about this is open or save.
I'm not going to download it, but I think that's once you get to that point, you're pretty much into the installation of the software.
Right. It's going to come up and tell you specifications on your computer or MacBook or whatever the case would be, and you see what it is. And also right next to it says AutoCAD for Mac right next to it. There is a different look on your screen and ribbons on top and pull downs. So when we're doing a regular AutoCAD Windows version, it might not look the same. Oh, question? How can we have it look the same? Great. There's a couple different ways of doing it for us. Basically, you can do VPN into the school, which we will go into a little while for you, or you can take your MacBook and divide it and partition the hard drives. You have one partition for the Mac and one partition for Windows. And then you can download all the Windows version you want on your Mac.
All right, so that's the software. We'll be using AutoCAD, and we're Windows based, so we'll be making the videos using that. And if you have any trouble with that, Alice put some contact information in there. Here's the step-by-step information.
And then there's,
If you have more help, you can get it. So let's continue on, Al.
okay. Over there, we have color coding related information. What we're trying to do is make it simpler for you. So when you see our things on there, you recognize what's book, what's lab, what's video, and quizzes and tests and exams. So there it looks like. You also have AutoCAD software textbook activation. Just to go over what we said before, it's right there in front of you. Now, there's one other thing on the bottom of it, how to do VPN setup for it. So if you have a Mac, you want to use window-based operations or something that's on open software, all you have to do is click on Mac and there it is, or Chromebook, or if you can't, or your machine's too old, you go to Windows and you do the same thing.
Terrific. And so it is nice to be able to VPN in if you have some technical difficulties. And so as we go through, here's our syllabus. And the PDFs load faster. I'm going to download it so I can make it bigger if I need to.
Here we go.
So the course will be taught by myself and Alan, and we're in the mechanical design CAD department. This is the best way to catch us is by these emails and instant messaging in D2L, basic AutoCAD. And it's a first course in design and drafting. And it's a introductory level course. And we basically use the computer to make architectural and engineering plans. We do a little bit of 3D work, and we cover how to set up a drawing electronically using effective layering, dimensioning, and detailing. And so the course is really very well laid out. We've taught it a number of times. The objectives are to use the CAD system to create these different mechanical and architectural drawings and develop the ability to analyze and solve problems in an online environment using computer-assisted design and drafting. Academic integrity is pretty straightforward. You don't want to do these things or you could have some trouble. There's more information on that in the student handbook. We have an outline of topics, and that's in a different spot. And that's what you want to be looking at when you start to look at what am I supposed to be doing? And so every week Al has this programmed, and we'll show that in a minute. We'll use online tutorials, readings from the books, and video tutorials. Course practices are to complete the drawing labs. It's mostly drawing based. And then we have a quiz that's associated with each of the chapters of the book. Instructional materials are to use this digital download for D2L. It's a McGraw-Hill book. Drawing and methods of evaluation will be as stated right here. Drawing labs are 50%, tests and quizzes are 10%, and final exam 40%. If you have any documented or special needs, Oakton is a place that has support for you, and we want people to be comfortable with working. So if there is anything that you need, anything, this lays out how you can get some assistance for that. And so that's the syllabus. As we take a look at the outline of topics, I'm just going to try it through D2L. Last time it took too long. So today is the 2nd of September, and we'll go through just basically getting started in chapter 1 and chapter 2. And as you can see, it's blue. And so what does that mean, Al, when we have it in blue?
I believe we have blue for bookwork.
And the green is?
Green work is basically for exercises or something of AutoCAD that we can use or turn into.
So the green is the drawing with AutoCAD and the blue is the reading with the book.
Mhm.
So let's take it from the blue area. Well, let's take a look here. So every week we'll go through, and this is your assignments. Al likes to put them in the announcements. So this week we'll cover chapter 1 and chapter 2, and I've got my digital textbook open. Here it is right here. And so if I go to chapter 1, Introduction to AutoCAD, our learning objectives for this are to describe computer-aided design, explain the value of planning, a number of things here. But the idea is to go through and to read these chapters so that you get the theory with AutoCAD. And we do videos as well for that. And right now we're in our introductory meeting, so I'm not going to go off into the lecture part. So you read chapter 1 and chapter 2. If I look at chapter 1 and chapter 2, I can say chapter 1 is the introduction, and chapter 2 is going to be working with drawings and templates. With that said, we'll go through these modules each week, and the blue is the reading assignments. So if you're going, what do I have to do today? You should look at the outline of topics or the sequence of topics, and that will tell you what to do. We will have a midterm and a final exam. I don't see midterm in this, Al, so we may have to update it, but that will take care. We'll take care of that. Every week, the assignment is given in the sequence of topics. Back
And
to the
how?
table. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't see the textbook like you did where you have all the chapters listed. After we activate the subscription, is it going to be on D2L or is it supposed to be somewhere else?
I'm not sure. We went through quite a bit to just get everything going. So let's, the way that I'm able to access the book right now is just through the portal. And I think you're able to get this information also, are you not?
No, actually, I only see chapter 1 in D2L.
Okay, let's take that and we'll talk about that once we get through with the Zoom meeting, and then we can see if there's a technical glitch with that.
Okay.
All right. So as we go through and we start to work through the outline of topics, we should be able to, you should be able to have access to the textbook. And we spent a deal of time making sure that it works. And so we'll come back to that. But if you do not have access to the chapters in the book, then we'll have to revisit that. With that said, let's go back to the main splash page. You can access the software like we talked about by downloading the software or by using a VPN and using an Oakton computer. We've covered the syllabus and the outline of topics and the installation. And then we create these videos. And so here's the video for chapter 1. It looks like I'll have to go and locate it down here. So if we go to
We must have a glitch.
yeah, we're going to need to turn that on. So let me fix that. This is probably what our student was asking us about. So I'm going to pause the recording while I fix this. Resuming. So as we work through these exercises, everything is color coded, and then ARG. There we go. As we work through these exercises, everything is color coded. And so we went through the syllabus, the outline of topics, the installation, and then we have videos. And so here's our video for the first assignment. And if we hit the play button here, you can get closed captioning. And we go through how to work these assignments, how to set up the interface, and how to draw them. So I recommend using a dual screen type system if you can, because what's nice about going through the videos is that you can be drawing it and then you can pause the video and then you can continue working. So that's our first assignment. And then as we go through and we work with the Autocad, here's our CAD interface. And so we will go through and draw each of these different assignments, and it will walk you through how to create these geometries. So for example, if I want to erase some of this, and then I want to do a drawing of it, I can go to the line command, and I can select my starting point. And then as I go through, you'll notice that it's red. And you might say, oh, well, that's not right. And so what I'll do is I'll select the correct layer, layer 0, and I'll go to the line command. And then we use this grid and snap. So you'll notice that the cursor is just like on graph paper. And these are not designed to be really difficult. In fact, we want them to be not hard. We want them to be easy. And so we draw up the first CAD drawing, then we can come in here and we can go through and we can put our initials on and then update the information for the student name. Make sure you put the correct dates on things. Today is 9/2. Time goes by rather quickly these days. And then as we go through and we work these different CAD assignments, this first exercise is multiple CAD drawings. And so I'll tell them how they get the title blocks for this.
That's great. If you go to the splash page real quick, please. There's a couple different ways you're going to run stuff. You can pull one page, you put down and say, here it is, it says B-side paper and plate title. So what you want to do is click on plate title itself. It has a DWT to it attached to it. It has a drawing template. And that will come up. You say, oh, and hopefully you have Autocad at this time. Take a minute, jump right.
Yeah, let me just get my computer over. And so I opened it, and you'll get a blank sheet for that.
Zoom all, please, Joe. Thank you. And we see in the bottom of it, you'll see a complete drawing area for you to look and see. It has a title block on the bottom of it. It has a name of it. It has a scale, it has the date, and there is a Joe's Justin like before. You also see a grid paper that's currently on there. The grid paper is a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square. This is as long as you were doing high school, middle, and high school. You got a grid paper, and you have squares or lines, etc. It's basically the same idea that you're currently having. Yes, you can change them later on to the different size and also different length on your command source. And that's what Joe's going to go into right now.
Right, and one of the things that we like to do, and we talk about this in the video, is to make the interface look the same. So we have this menu bar. I'm going to hide it. It's kind of a funny little bar. It's just this little triangle line over the top of it. Now the ribbon is this line where you have home, insert, animate. And if you want the traditional tools, you can show the menu bar. And the reason I say it is because a lot of commands are pictures on the ribbon, and they don't have words. And so I menu bar on. Right now, if I click it, it'll turn it off. I'm not going to do that. And if I want to go and I wanted to do set up the grid snap, what I would do is I would go to drafting settings and snap and grid, and I want to enable snap, and my grid is already on. But by default on this template, the snap is not on, so I'm going to turn it on because it allows it to snap to the corners of the drawing.
And as he's doing it, you can see a blue heads-up display come up. It also tells you the length that he's doing it. You see the angle come up also. So wherever angle he is, it's also coming up with you at the same time.
And we go through some of the nuts and bolts of it as far as using the mouse. If I push the wheel on the mouse, it pans. If I turn the wheel on the mouse, it zooms. If I hit the escape key. And escape is really your best friend. Escape, get out of it. So this is the first assignment. You'll use the template that we have located right here, the plate title template. And then you create these different drawings. And so if I click on the plate 1 title block, and I open it.
And your screen might be a little bit different, depends on what kind of Windows setup you have.
Correct. And I'm going to switch my screens here. And so we'll go through and essentially we're just going to draw these different components. And so I'll make sure that I'll go to line command, and then I'll go here and I'll start with this point. I'll go 3 units over, 2 units down. Sometimes you have to turn off the O snap, which is what these green lines are. And O snap, I'm gonna hit escape here, is the button right here. And what you can do is you can just unactivate it, and then it will only go and snap to the grid points. And so we can go through and continue working on these exercises.
And a question came up, oh, how does he make a line? Well, what he does is selects on line command, he selects the left button, he goes down, right, left, down, up, wherever it can be. As he finds a spot where he needs or length he needs, he left clicks again, and it does blank.
Make a mistake here. You can type U for undo, and it'll back you up one step. Or you can use the undo command up here as well. And so we're just gonna pan and zoom, escape. And there's video like we showed earlier for all of these assignments. And so once we have the first title block, make sure to update the access credentials, put your name on it, and the correct date.
Also, Joe, you got the plane tone down the bottom, you will see it says model. It will say plate number 1 title block. It'll say number 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Those are basic blank ones already set, ready to go for you. So all you have to do is once you open one of these, you get multiple ones to continue finishing up all your units. Now, let's say you want to bring it up towards you, make it larger, whatever else. It's real simple. As Joe said, you use the mouse. The video moves in, moves out, zoom in and out easier, and it works just fine. If you want to do it automatically, the wheel in the center, you press twice real quick, and it zooms it all the way out. It extends.
Right, so the complete drawing will look like this, and we'll go through and we'll check them off. And so 4, 3, 2, 1. And like we were saying, we have videos for them. And so as we go through and we work with our software here, here's a video for how to do the first exercise. Once you're done with the drawings, they'll be turned into the assignments folder. I'm going to view this as student.
Joe, you got to go back into see what you do.
I don't know why it goes to the wrong section. I might go back to it, but I'm glad you guys picking up on it. So to turn things into the assignment folder, we'll go to assignments. And you can see that I now submitted my assignment. It's due November 10th by 11:30. If you need an extension, you can just instant message or email Al and I, and we'll be happy to work with you. We can go to the assignment here. We'll be created on these criteria for completeness, graphical accuracy, design rules, and dimensioning, and proper use of CAD features. And so we'll go through and evaluate you and give you feedback for your work. And then you can submit your file here by saying add a file, and then go to where you save the file. And so I'm just going to press this type file, and I can upload it or add it. Excuse me. And so here's my file. And if you have any questions, you could say.
This uses a two-way street. Basically, hand-in drawings get created, and also for some reason, hey, you're not too sure if the drawing is correct, you have a problem doing this, or whatever the case be, add it, and then on the bottom here for comment, add your comment to this. Please do not grade this, look at it, help me with it, whatever else, we do that for you.
And I'll usually gives everybody extensions as long as they ask for it. All right, so that's how you turn in an assignment. And it's our basic rundown from the standpoint of the syllabus, the outline topics, the software, and the first assignment. The second assignment will, and here's the PDFs for each one of those. And so as we look at them, we'll go through, they're just draw line commands here. And then as we go through, here's our due dates. So September 10th is module 1. And then as we continue through, module 2 is due on the 17th. And then just every week it starts to build. And so you have some time, you have it before the first module is due. Quizzes and exams are located here. We'll need to activate these. And we'll have the quizzes that are available for that assignment as multiple choice quizzes, which we'll activate.
Like them 1 week at a time.
And then if we go back to contents, we have our chapter 1 labs. And so here's this information, tells you the due date, start AutoCAD using D2L to be able to access the curriculum, go through the interface, and then we do these basic drawing commands. We have an older site that we used to teach from before they had D2L. So this is just as a reference if you want to look at how we put this together back 5 years ago. We have this, it's great if you're sitting on your laptop in front of the TV and you go, oh, okay, activation of my software, basic interface information, how to go through and set up things within that. And so how to use the mouse. Right there. All right, so we have our first chapter, and that's pretty much it, I think. When we get down to it.
If you go down a little further, keep going, just a little further. Stop right there, please. There's one says mod 1 number. If you click on that, please, to the up, bottom. Up. That gives you a PDF of information that we just talked about.
Very good. So it gives you some information on how to use the CAD system. Great. All right, so that's the first assignment. Complete these 5 plates, save them, turn them into the assignment folder, and then as we look at the outline of topics, Here's our outline of topics. So we're going to cover chapter 1 and 2 from the textbook and then do our module 1. And this is why the quizzes aren't showing up. They're not starting until next week. And so next week we'll go through drawing and editing, object commands, and module 2. Since we're here on the activate module 2 for anybody who might feel ambitious and wants to work ahead, we just go ahead as the instructor.
I'll take care of it now. Okay, fine.
What's that, Al?
I'll take care of it right now.
Ah, that's good.
It's activated now.
Just depends how quick the internet is, right? So the next one that we'll work on, and we have these kind of half interior or half mechanical. And so as we start to work with these, we'll have 2 more drawings, which we have YouTube videos for. And so here's the PDF, here's the video, here's the title block. You need a chair to join the room, so you can download the chair. And then we have these mechanical assignments. And we have PDFs and the videos for that. So with that, I'm going to wrap this Zoom meeting up back to the main splash page. Remember, if you have any questions, just email, instant message us, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Lots of calendar of events and sequence topics. And we'll be running the Zoom meeting at 9 a.m. next week, right, Al?
From this point on.
So future Zoom meetings will be 9 a.m. and we'll put that in the main splash page. Material is color coded, blue, green, and magenta. Software installation instructions, access to the VPN, and then again, so this outline of topics and videos. All right, so that ends our first Zoom recording. I'm going to stop the recording and then open things up for questions.